Hey there, we all eat, right? It's something we do every single day. But have you ever really stopped to think about whether you're doing it correctly? Well, today we're going to break down the essentials of healthy eating so you can learn how to truly fuel your body, not just, fill your stomach. Let's dive in.
So, let me just ask you point blank. Are you really fueling your body the right way? It seems like a simple question, but the answer can get pretty complicated. My goal here is that by the end of our chat, you'll be able to answer that with a confident heck yes.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get into why our bodies even need food. Then, we'll unpack the 6 essential nutrients you've got to have. After that, we'll cover the golden rules of eating, peek at some habits that might be hurting you, and wrap it all up with a super simple checklist for a healthy lifestyle. Right, first things first. Before we even start talking about what's on your plate, we need to understand why it's there to begin with. What is our body actually demanding all this fuel for?
See, our bodies are constantly working, and they rely on food for 4 massive jobs. We need it for growth, for repairing tissues when things get worn down, for protecting us from diseases, and of course, for providing the energy for literally everything we do. It's so much more than just a rumbling stomach.
So, how does food pull all this off? Well, it's all about the nutrients. Think of nutrients as the little superheroes inside our food that our bodies put to work. They are the absolute building blocks of our health.
And here they are, the nutritional dream team. You've got carbohydrates, which are your main energy source, then proteins for building and repair, fats, which are crucial for storing energy and protecting your organs, and then you have the essential support crew, minerals, vitamins, and good old water. Every single one has a job to do.
Let's just pause on water for a second. We tend to think it's just for, not being thirsty, but it's so much more important than that. Water is basically the transport system that helps your body absorb all those other nutrients, and it's a key player in actually producing energy. It really is the unsung hero of the group.
All right, so we've covered the why and the what. Now let's get down to business, the how. It's time for the golden rules. These are the simple habits that can turn all this knowledge into real everyday results.
Okay, let's start with the basics. A balanced breakfast, think some good cereals, protein, and fruit really sets the tone for your whole day. But how you eat is just as important. Eating with family or friends, putting the phone away, turning off the TV, and actually sitting at a table, all of this turns eating from just a chore into a focused and frankly more enjoyable experience.
And check this out. This one slide brilliantly shows the power of a single tiny action, just chewing your food properly. I mean, look at the difference. On one side, chewing well means easy digestion and better nutrient absorption. On the other, eating too fast is a recipe for choking, indigestion, and overeating because your brain can't keep up. The takeaway? Just slow down.
And of course, beyond just habits, our choices really matter. This is all about making simple, smart swaps, like reaching for an apple instead of a candy bar, picking whole grain cereals that give you that important fiber or roughage, and trying your best to ditch the sugary soft drinks for things like water or even coconut water. These little changes, they add up big time.
Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff, but for every good habit, there's a bad one just waiting to sabotage all your hard work. So let's flip the coin and take a look at the habits that are actively working against you.
Oh, this is a huge one. Think about it. After a whole night of sleeping, your body's energy tank is pretty much on empty. Skipping breakfast is like trying to start your car with no gas. You're just starving your brain and muscles of the fuel they desperately need to get going. And then we have junk food. This chart shows the trap perfectly, doesn't it? You get that immediate, high burst of energy, which feels great for a minute. But look at the nutrient content. It's practically zero. And the long-term impact? A serious risk of obesity and other health problems. It's a classic short-term gain for long-term pain.
Here are 3 more common traps to avoid. First, just eating way too much at once. Even if it's your favorite food, it just overwhelms your system. Second, distracted eating. In front of the TV or with a book. It almost always leads to mindlessly eating more than you need. And finally, eating super late at night. That one causes a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that last point, because it's a big deal. When you eat a big meal and then go right to bed, your body doesn't get a chance to digest properly. This can mess with your stomach, and that, in turn, can completely wreck your sleep. It's a real 1-2 punch to your well-being.
Okay, so we've looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly. For our last section, let's pull it all together. Because healthy eating isn't this separate thing you do. It's a massive piece of the much bigger puzzle of a healthy lifestyle.
And here it is, your simple daily checklist. This really combines everything we've talked about.
Lay off the junk food and sodas. Drink plenty of water. Get your body moving. Keep yourself and your space clean. And please, get enough sleep. Look, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, positive choices day in and day out.
And that brings us right to the end. I want to leave you with this one last and maybe most important question. After hearing all this, what's one small, totally manageable change that you can commit to making starting today? Because that, right there, is how real, lasting health actually begins.